Hey there, it's Erin with Time Saving Templates, and usually I'm here with spreadsheet template tricks and tips. But today I'm going to be going over a book review, and I've got the hard copy right here. I'm going to be talking about this book called Clockwork. So I have a time saving theme here at Time Saving Templates, and Clockwork also has a time-saving theme, so I thought that would be helpful to go over it. So what I've been doing lately is I've been kind of testing out and trying different things more for myself that are going to help me save time and get organized. So this book has been a huge help, and that's why I thought I would share. So anyhow, this book is written by Mike Michalowicz, and he is also the author of a book called Profit First, which is really a great read. If you are in small business, you've probably heard of this before. So his book is really geared toward a small business who might just be one person, and you're looking to expand by hiring either a virtual assistant, contractors, or even employees. So there's his book, and then there's also a boot camp that's hosted by Adrienne Dorison. And together, when you do both, it's really, really great to see how this can be applied. So let me jump into what it's even all about. The review, I'm going to go over kind of the book and the boot camp are kind of very similar. So first, it's going to go into analyzing your company time, which might sound kind of tedious at first, but you're going to want to break out all your activities, how much time you're spending on each thing for you and any contractors or employees or staff that you have. You're also going to want them to do this part too. So you can see what everybody's working on, and then like as a whole, how much time is being spent. And the main areas of categorizing the time tracking is going to fall into the 4Ds. So the doing is probably the majority of like the entire company's time is spent doing, deciding, delegating, and design. So a really good point they make in the book and the boot camp is that when you're delegating, if the work keeps coming back to you for decisions on how to do something, then you might not have delegated effectively, or even the idea that you can delegate all the decision making for certain things can be delegated. So even that is a great concept, because I think when someone goes from just doing things themselves to first delegating, you still might have a hard time giving up that deciding phase part of things. But one of the points they make in the book is that the activity of deciding is a very mentally taxing activity. So if you can get that off of your plate, that will help you free up your time to work on the design work, which is the 4th D. So that's like the big picture. Where are things going? What needs to be worked on? What needs to be developed, and that kind of thing. So that's kind of the time tracking part of it. And then the second part that I really enjoyed about the book and everything is when he goes into the queen bee role. And so it's not to say that there's any one person at the company that's, the queen bee or anything like that, but it's more of a process or a method, kind of pinpointing what it is that makes your company different. So what is it that is making you special or different from the competitors? So the queen bee role also, it helps to explain it, because in the boot camp, at least, they go into your brand promise. So what is it you're promising to the customer? That's your brand promise. And then the queen bee role is how are you delivering on that promise to make sure that, you're fulfilling your end of the promise. So that's kind of how the queen bee role is defined. Everything from there gets filtered, all of your hiring, all of your positions and who does what and all the tasks. Everything gets filtered through that queen bee role lens, so that you're not hiring for things that are not necessary. And also it helps bring people together to kind of see what is important to the company. So the next part is like protecting and serving the QBR. So even if there could be several people that are serving and supporting that queen bee role, like in delivering on that brand promise, but there's can also be people that are protecting your time so that you are able to serve on that queen bee role. Okay, so the next part of it is the next big section is capturing systems. So this is everything from, using project management software so that you can track everything, also creating decision trees, guardrails that kind of go over what to do, what not to do. These are all systems that you can put in place so that when you hire someone, you make it easy for them to know, the right things to do. Balancing the team is more about what to do after people are already onboarded. So there is a section in here or in one of the chapters about, hiring and job descriptions, interview, and that kind of thing. Balancing the team is more, continually assessing who's doing what role, what tasks or roles need to be shifted around, is everybody playing to their strengths? Are people getting bored? Or they're needing growth opportunities and that kind of thing. So really interesting stuff. Then lastly, the keeping an eye on the business. So it goes into different metrics, dashboards that you can use so that even though you're kind of removing yourself from the business and you're having other people help you, you can still keep an eye on the important things. And this also links back to the queen bee role. So you want metrics that are measuring, is the queen bee role being delivered on? Is that brand promise being delivered on? So the metrics, that'll help define what metrics that you want to track. And the other, I don't know if you've heard this quote before, but there's a quote or something that says, what's measured is what will improve. And so I think it's a good way for people that you hire to see what's important to the company, because if they know like which things are being tracked, then that sends a message that, this is important to get done and that sort of thing. So if you can go through the book and the boot camp and all these modules and actually apply everything, what they are essentially saying that you can do, or the goal with this is to remove yourself from your own business, and that you could take a 4-week vacation and that nothing would break. Your entire business would continue operating as usual, and you have team members that know what to do in your absence. For me, I haven't taken a 4-week vacation. I don't know if I will. I mean, maybe a 1 week or a 2 week, right? But I'm more motivated for the second part, which is to avoid being in a state of burnout. So being able to take breaks, focus on other things. And also when I am working on the business, I'm working on the parts of it that I'm most interested in, which is probably the design time and things like that. So if that sounds like something that could help you or your business, you can check that out at timesavingtemplates.com/clockwork. I'll have the link to the book and also a link to the boot camp. But let me go over the dates for the boot camp. So depending what time you're watching this, I think she does it like once or twice a year. So the boot camp is starting in a couple of weeks around March 15th. The boot camp goes over a lot of the same content that's in the book, but then you get to see like real life examples of different businesses and like kind of challenges that they're faced with. The boot camp is run by Adrienne and some of her staff. And then the final day, it looks like March 19th, is when Mike Michalowicz, the author of the book, is also going to be there at the virtual conference. And I don't know if you can see her little quote here. This is a really good point that you could potentially end up wasting a lot of time and money because you're paying someone and then, well, it costs a lot to hire people. And you could potentially end up doing all the work yourself. I don't know if anyone's been in that situation where you hire someone and try to get them the work to do, and then when you get it back, you end up having to work on it more, redo. And a lot of people have been burned, I think, and get the idea that if you want a job done right, you got to do it yourself. And that can be a valid concern for a lot of people, but there's also a lot of things to do to prevent that happening. I hope you like the book review. Sounds like it will help you with your current situation, go check it out. I'll post the links again at timesavingtemplates.com/clockwork. Until next time, don't forget that I'm here to help you streamline and save time, usually with spreadsheet templates. So if you're only interested in the spreadsheet templates, you can also check out what we have there. We have some free templates at timesavingtemplates.com/free resources.